Okay, so today we're going to make little strawberries. Aren't they cute? Okay, different ones for doing different things. I've got a little bit of a ball on it, a bit of satin string. This has got a bit of rope on it because this ties quite a bit of stuff. Okay, they're very cute. This has got a bag. Okay, I've made it so I've sewed the whole bag together. It's actually non-rip nylon. It's actually a small little bag. It's only for to put my wet shoes in when I go hiking. Okay, so the great thing about it is it's all one piece. It is stitched at the bottom. It's stitched at the sides. Okay, very simple and everything else bag. And then I've just put my little strawberry on the corner. It's actually just sewn into it, so as you can see, it's actually one side, there's the other side of it, it's actually sewn right into it, so it actually hangs onto the little bag. And then when you're finished, you just roll it all up. Bit of an interesting little bag it is. Pull the little string, tuck it all in. I've got a little knob on it just to keep it tight. And I actually loop it into my bag, into the back on the backpack. It's on the outside of my backpack. Everyone says, "Oh, I love your little strawberry," but that's what it's for, to put my shoes in, my wet shoes in, or hiking shoes or any wet gear I want to put in. That's not a lot. So that's what I have. Okay, the next one. Okay, this cute little one here, believe it or not, another little stopper to hold it all into place. This is a loose bag. It's not actually attached to anything. So that's what we're going to make today, just a nice little loose bag. Okay, in it is a head net. I've got a couple of these because, like I said, I hike. So I've got to put them in something. So they're just perfect just to have them put into a little strawberry. You can make them any size you like, but they're quite a cute little bag just to put stuff in, something different that runs around your bag. It's brightly coloured, so at least you see it. If you've got a dark bag, at least you see the little strawberry, the little red one. So it's very cute. I'm going to make another one. So I've got some red, white and white polka dot striped or spotted, material. It's just cotton. Ordinary cotton is probably just, you could get a fat, one of those fats, square fats for quilting. You can do that if you like, but it depends on wherever you get it, wherever you can buy the material, and that's it. Okay, so let's cut it out and make it and start. Okay, so I've cut out my little triangle. As you can see, there's two pieces of it. Quite cute, they're just little triangles that you want. The measurement is really whatever size you want. I mean, it's going to be whatever you're going to pop in it. It really is. That's the way it is. It was a bit of scrap I had on the corner of that material. Let's have a look. We're looking at probably, about 17 centimetres wide. Roughly about, it's not an even triangle, so one side's about 13 and the other side's about 11. But it's like I said, it's a bit of scrap that I had left over from that other one. I made other little strawberries, so that was fine. So like I said, it's not quite a perfect triangle. As you can see, it's quite longer than others and it overhangs a little bit. It's not the best, but that doesn't really matter because you're going to draw it up. No one's going to know. Okay, so you need a little bit of scrap of green. Okay, look, any colour green you like. I like lighter. You can use darker, you can use whatever colour green you like, and then just get a little piece to go on the top. Okay, that's what's going to hold the thread, that's what's going to hold the ribbon in, or the cord, or whatever you want to draw it up into. So let's cut that out as well. I like to cut it out around the same size as this. Okay, probably, and make it twice the size, so what you want to draw it up into, because you've got to fold it over. Okay, all right, let's do that. Okay, so cut out my green. Then I'm going to use a little bit of cotton, nothing flash. Haven't cut it very straight, I'll have to fix that up. So, okay, it's going to sit just roughly over the top of it. So it draws, it's going to actually be the casing that, like I said, holds the ribbon or the cord, whatever you want to do in it. Okay, so let's start off with the strawberry. Okay, we're going to fold it inside out. Okay, pin and pin. Okay, all right. Do you want to make sure everything's going to sit right? And I've pinned it correctly. It's doing all sorts of weird stuff at the moment, but that's fine. Yep, I like the corners on that. That's okay. I'm not worried about the top as much at the moment, but I'm just worried about getting this done. So we're going to sew from here to here. It'll be the bottom part of the strawberry. I'm going to do a running stitch, and I'm going to do a zigzag as well to make sure it all holds, because you want it to hold whatever you want to stuff in there, because it's going to hold a lot of pressure onto it, and you're going to need so you need to hold really tight. So make sure you've got a good stitching in it, and it's going to be, and make sure you adjust the tension and make sure it's correct. Okay, let's sew. Okay, so we've got it all sewn now. It looks lovely. Okay, we're going to do the test to see if it's correct. Put your finger in there, pop it through. That's it. Right, make sure all the stitching is nice and firm. It's not coming undone, because you don't want a little article that you put in there popping out. Okay, right, it's all done. I've actually stitched it in red, but then I ran out of bobbin, and so I popped a little bit extra white stitching in there just to cover it in, because I didn't want to do another bobbin. Okay, so we take our pieces. Okay, he's not very straight, I know, but that's okay. He'll still work. Okay, so if yours is straight, that's awesome. If it's not, don't stress. Okay, you're going to sew the ends. Okay, roll the ends up and just sew them, because that will be in the middle of it, on the end of it, so it keeps it all nice and neat and tidy when you fold it up and sew it on. Okay, it's not going to go in the wrong way. It's actually going to go in the right way. So you're actually going to sew it. You're going to sew it when you sew this piece. So you rolled it on that side, as you can see. That's the way there it is. I left a little gap there for you can see. Okay, you're going to fold it inside. Okay, so because that's going to be the end product. Okay, and then you're going to stitch it on the end of your little bag. Okay, so you stitch it onto the side, onto the little strawberry itself, and then that will pop up, and that will be your seam. Okay, you're going to sew it inside out. So you're going to sew it in the right way. Okay, so I should do it that way. That might be better. You might actually see what's going on. So you're going to sew it like that. Okay, and then it's going to flip up, and it's all going to be, and then we're going to be done. Okay, very cute. Okay, I've snipped a little bit of the edges of the corners to make them a little bit more neat, and not the most easiest little pieces of fabric to do. He's so small. So you really want to try and make sure you get it all right. Pinning is about the only way you're going to do this. Everything's so small in it. You don't want huge amounts of material. After all, he's going to be a strawberry. You want him to be small anyway. He's going to hold small stuff. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Make sure you pin it all correctly and it sits right. Okay, so he's all pinned up now. He's doing the right thing. He goes to that end, as you can see by the corner, and that's him there. And that's the seam there. And he's there. Okay, you're going to sew to the end. You're going to sew it to the end. Okay, from end to end. Okay, and then you're going to do the I'm going to do a running stitch and then a zigzag to keep it, make sure it's all make sure it holds. Okay, and you have to make sure the gate actually catches all the material once again, because if you don't, when you pull it, it's going to have a little hole in it and it's going to come undone. Okay, then you do the other side and stitch it all up. I would actually pin and do the whole lot in one hit, and then just sew as you keep going. Just keep threading through and just keep sewing it. Okay, make sure you have a little gap to put something to, so you get a little safety pin in to thread your cord or your ribbon or whatever you want to put through it. Okay then, so let's get sewing. Okay, so now we've got it sorted. Put it in the right way. Let's have a look at him. Okay, so that's what he looks like. Okay, you can go for wider or narrow, whatever you like. In the end of the day, it's going to be gathered anyway, so you're not really going to see. Okay, so the ends look like that. Okay, trim up whatever you can. All right, I've got some thread. Now this has come off clothes. Okay, like I said, I always keep cotton, like all the ribbon that comes off your clothes. I just cut them off and keep them off. They're just little bits of ribbon, ideal, perfect for this job, and it probably is too big, the ribbon on this, so I'll probably make it smaller anyway. Okay, take a safety pin, like so, thread your ribbon through, like so. Okay, and then just feed it through. So you're going to feed it through the loop. Okay, that's why we've sewed it first, so the edges are nice and smooth. You don't so you can, it's just easy to make it when you sew the safety pin through. It makes it easier. Done. Pull it forward. Oh, probably better when something's in it. Bit of a scrunchy looking thing, but that's it there. Okay, all done. All right, let's pop the head net in. Like I said, I've got quite a few of them. This is a different type of one. This is a bigger one, so I'm a bit worried if it's going to fit into it. So, right, pack it in there. That's why we always say the seams, make sure the seams are done really well, because you're going to be packing this in there really well. Okay, pack it right down and pull the string. Oh, look at that. Oops, there's a tab on that head net. Pop that down. Put a little toggle on it, hold it in place. Okay, isn't that lovely? Okay, all sorted for you. You can hang it off your bag, then you've got always got your head net whenever you need it, especially when you're going out hiking. Okay, thanks for watching.